The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. By what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim? Obviously, Greenland should be part of the United States.
That was Stephen Miller speaking during an interview he just gave on CNN, explaining to the world the definition now, the new definition of the United States of America. Let's review a little bit of the conversation he had with Jake Tapper on CNN. It tells the whole world what's going on, the reality of the situation. It's a shocking interview. Let's watch the first clip here where Jake asks him, well, who is running Venezuela now?
Can you tell us what the president means when he says, is acting President Delcy Rodriguez in charge? Is she running Venezuela or not?
Well, what the president said is true. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. Jake, we live in a world in which you can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else. But we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world that have existed since the beginning of time.
But in terms of day-to-day operations in Venezuela, that is acting President Rodriguez, right? It's not some sort of American emissary.
No, what I'm saying is, we'll keep going here, Jake. So I want to say what I'm saying, and then you'll follow up. But what I'm saying is just one level above that, which is that by definition, we are in charge because we have the United States military stationed outside the country. We set the terms and conditions. We have a complete embargo on all of their oil and their ability to do commerce. So for them to do commerce, they need our permission. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. So the United States is in charge.
So there you have your answer. And you may be thinking right now, well, who is this guy? Is this some sort of a right-wing podcaster or some guy they pulled off the street to be speaking this way? Who is this Stephen Miller? Stephen Miller is an American political advisor serving as, number one, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy of the United States, and number two, Homeland Security Advisor. He's been in that role since 2025. He previously served as Senior Advisor to the President and Director of Speech Writing from 2017 to 2021. So when he speaks, you're hearing someone who is an influential organizer of the U.S. administration. He and a small group of insiders are the guys that make the plan, are the guys that set the agenda and advise the president. The president is just a figurehead. He is a quote-unquote dictator. He's just basically the vessel, the person that stands in front of the American people, the cult leader, the one with the dynamic, charismatic personality, if you could describe it that way, that influences the public and captures the votes. But the people that make the plan, one of the top people involved in setting the agenda for the United States, is Stephen Miller. Now, this interview goes on and it becomes even more shocking. The next question was, well, what about Greenland?
On another important topic, the premier of Greenland and the premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller, herself a former Trump White House official, showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon. After that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now. So I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United
States, but your wife
NATO
posted that like hours after the Venezuela operation. That's why it's newly relevant.
I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's a really important conversation. I just wanted to reset, Jake, by making clear that it has been the formal position of the U.S. government since the beginning of this administration, frankly, going back into the previous Trump administration, that Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Right, but can you say that military action against Greenland is off the table?
It wouldn't be military action against Greenland. The Greenland has a population of 30,000 people, Jake. The real question is, by what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim? What is their basis of having Greenland as a colony of Denmark? The United States is the power of NATO. For the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States. And so the United States should have Greenland as part of the United States. There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland.
So not only would he not answer that question, will the U.S. use military force to take Greenland? A lot of politicians or advisors or political figures don't answer the questions. But he actually turned the topic inside out, and it's shocking. It's almost I don't even know how to begin to describe this. He's basically turned it inside out and says, well, who is Denmark to say that they control Greenland? The U.S. should control Greenland. There's only 37,000 people that live there. And he's basically making the point that the United States can do whatever they want. They are the superior power in the world. And they're counting on the fact that, well, nobody's going to fight the United States. No one's going to fight the United States over Greenland. That's the argument. The decision has already been made. The U.S. administration, whose plan is formulated by people like this guy that we're just listening to, has decided already that they already own Greenland. In their minds, Greenland is part of the United States already. And it's just a matter of executing that formally and getting whatever they want from Greenland. Whether it's military force or whether it's just threats and coercion, the U.S. will extract whatever it deems that it wants from Greenland. The United States now is an authoritarian rogue state in the world. And it gets even more shocking. Let me play the conclusion of the video of the interview here, and then I'll ask for your comments in the comment section. Just let me know what you think. But let's listen to this last clip.
The United States, this is sort of foundational. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
and
engaging
know,
these
honestly,
vast
what you're talking
reparation
about
schemes.
Right now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea. And by the way, you do. I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
So this is the United States of America now, unapologetically the rogue state in the world, and they speak about it proudly. And you have to understand, these political figures now are doing the circuit, going on CNN, on Fox News, and on radio shows and podcasts. This is their sales job, their spin of the actions the United States has taken. This is the rhetoric they're using to try and convince the American people to be on their side. This is their position. What do you think? We have crossed the line here into a new world. And to end off the video here, I'm going to give you a little bit of an opinion of why I think it has shifted so dramatically into aggression and take whatever we want, no matter what. And it stems from something that happened during the summer, when the top story was the United States, the trade war against the whole world. That was kind of their first step of aggression against the world, was to impose tariffs on the imports from everyone on Earth. That was kind of their first salvo against the world. And what happened was that trade war escalated severely with China, and it got to the point around the middle of the summer, and I did a video about this, where China retaliated by threatening to withhold critical minerals from the United States. Well, that was something that was reported, but I don't think it was explained at how impactful, how big a deal that was, because for the first time, the United States was petrified, because China right now controls overwhelmingly the majority of critical minerals and critical mineral processing on Earth. Over 90% of the processing of critical minerals for the world. And those minerals are absolutely essential for the United States. And it was discussed in the summer that if China did cut off the export of critical minerals to the United States, the US economy, the new economy, would grind to a halt within a matter of weeks. That's how dependent the United States is on those minerals. And I think that scared the hell out of the Americans. They immediately backed down and were more conciliatory with China, and they seemed to agree on slightly lower tariffs and smooth things over at that time. But I think that lit a fire and instilled fear in the administration that, hold on a second here, we have to get serious. And so there was a period of planning, and now the new year has started, and the plan is unfolding before us. The United States, I think, partly because of what I just described, has a new sense of urgency and has emerged as, well, the new U.S. You heard it in that interview there from one of the chief orchestrators of the U.S. plan. This is what the world can expect now. This is the new United States. They've simply decided that tariffs or trade deals are not the viable way to ensure the security of the United States. A better and faster way of doing it is just to take whatever they want, and no one can stop them. Shocking development. I had to do this video just to update you. I know I'm doing a lot of content on US issues now. I like to concentrate on Canadian issues, but this is something that's affecting the whole world, so I'm doing these videos for you. If you want to show your appreciation, the best way you can do it without costing you anything is simply to subscribe to the channel and help the channel grow, so the channel has more scope on the YouTube platform. If you want to support me monetarily on a monthly basis, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button. I certainly appreciate all my channel members making the work I do worthwhile. I do it all on my own. I don't have a staff. I spend a lot of time doing it. I don't have another job. This is my passion. I'm doing it to promote Canadian pride and Canadian patriotism, but also to point out issues that will affect the world and Canada in particular. Hopefully we'll do videos in the future. Well, what should Canada do about this? That's a much more difficult question. I just want to present this to you today. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everyone, and I will catch you all on the next